As you all know, we must all focus on making society and the world trouble-free and prosperous. Safety all over the world is thus important. Safety at home, safety at work, safety in school, safety in other places is always important. In other words, we must all be safe at home. When we are at home, at work, when we are at work, in school, if and when we are in school, and elsewhere. So we must be safe always and all the time. That is what is meant to be part and parcel of being trouble-free or living in a trouble-free society and world. In other words, we must have peace everywhere and we must be safe everywhere, in literal terms. There is a matter I want to share with you today which can help us be safe and ensure safety of others as well. That will also enable us to ensure our own peace always and the peace of others. When people try to do bad things to children or to seniors or anybody else, the first thing they do normally is to ensure communication is curtailed. For instance, if you have a bully at home bullying a child or a baby, the first thing that person will do is to threaten the child never to tell anybody. The child will be under a threat that if you ever say that somebody attacked you or bullied you, you'll face the consequences. So because of that, children, seniors and other people undergo a lot of traumatic experiences, including bullying and other forms of abuse, without saying a word to anybody because they have been threatened. If you say, you'll face grave consequences. In offices, women and men face similar situations. Whenever abuses are being plotted, the plotters of any such abuses, like bullying or any other injustice or cruelty, the first thing they do, such people, the bullies or the people perpetrating or intending to perpetrate such a heinous act, will make sure communication is throttled or curtailed. So people will be under instructions never to communicate to anyone within the office or from the office to other offices or to the outside world. That way, the perpetrators and the plotters of such a bullying and abuse and cruelty will undertake or perpetrate their heinous acts without fearing about being exposed to anyone. So communication, as we know, saves lives. Communication makes the world safer. So we urge our people to ensure that communication is never throttled in any way. Effective communication is always important at home, at work, in school, and elsewhere. People must feel free to communicate traditionally, either directly on phone or through email or texting or through social media within an organization or at home or even to the outside world at any given moment in time. Why is that necessary? That is always necessary for safety reasons and also for peace reasons as well. Free communication or unthrottled communication also favors happiness and hence performance. People who communicate freely without fear are more likely to be more creative, more innovative, and more productive. So companies and organizations have a lot to gain when they ensure effective and throttled positive communication. So people who fear communication have nothing to fear at all. If they are plotting and cruelty or abuse, well, they should stop it. Instead of trying to throttle or block any communication just for the purpose of creating a fertile ground for abuse, cruelty, and bullying. So toxicity is never a form of communication. Negative communication and gossip is never a form of communication. Such forms of interaction always hurt progress, they poison peace, and they affect relationships. There is also another important factor we must note about effective communication. These days is a time and an era we must all focus on making society and the world a better place in every possible way, a day at a time. When we communicate freely, without fear or favor, and we communicate in a positive way using positive language, we build good relationships. So relationship building favors teamwork. It favors cooperation, collaboration, and working together. When we work together, it favors productivity. It makes us happier. We achieve more for ourselves and for the economy. So we have a lot to gain from effective communication. We don't have to fear in any way when people are able to communicate freely. But let us send a red alert here. If you see anywhere where people are threatened against communicating freely, then that is a signal that abuses are going to happen or they are happening, and that should not be allowed to continue. In other words, people must be free to communicate positively and truthfully all the time and always. Should anybody feel threatened because of effective communication, such a one must sit down, cool down, hold his or her horses, and find out why he or she has that kind of fear. Fear is a deterrent to progress. It's a deterrent to peace. It's a deterrent to cooperation. It's a deterrent to teamwork. It's a deterrent to friendship. Fear, as one US president said, the only thing we have to fear is fear itself. In other words, we have no reason at all to engage in fear. Freedom from fear is a basic human right for everyone. So we must never fear anything. We must feel free because we live in a free society and world. We must communicate positively, freely, and effectively. That way we'll build relationships, strong relationships, will ensure peace, and will build also goodwill and friendship. Social media also comes handy in communication. When people are threatened against using social media, that's also a matter of concern for safety reasons. People should feel free to communicate through social media and through any other means for the sake of peace, for the sake of building strong relationships, and for the sake of safety, understanding, and peace. We must all focus always on making society and the world just a little better, safer, more peaceful, more trouble-free, and more prosperous every single day. Remember this, whether you are a leader, a child, a woman, or a man, a leader or an ordinary citizen, a professional or non-professional, a technocrat or an operative, an educator, teacher or professor, a student or pupil, make sure you are safe all the time. That way, you also ensure the safety and the peace of those around you. Make sure you have peace all the time. That way, you ensure the peace of all other people. These days, people never want to take the responsibility for the safety and the peace of other people. We have seen in many places where they say, well, you use this trail or you are walking here at your own risk. In other words, they fear if anything happens to you, maybe you will blame them. So that means this: make sure you are always safe. Make sure those around you are always safe. Make sure you have peace and the people around you have peace also. That is always important. Why? Because peace is all that matters.